Take a look at who decided to interrupt me while I'm working. This cat. Hey guys, this is Jason. I'm reviewing Five Nights at Freddy's, directed by Tammi, and it is based off of the video game franchise of the same name. And it stars Josh Hutcherson, who plays a troubled person looking for a job, and eventually finds one as a security guard doing the night shift at Freddy Fazbear's Pizzeria. But then he finds out that the animatronics there are not normal, and then later realizes that working at the night shift as a security guard isn't as easy as he thinks when Freddy and his gang are around. I'm gonna be honest here, I've never played a single Five Nights at Freddy's game before. I know it's a shocker, but I've really never played one. I don't know about the lore or most of the characters or what the story is supposed to be like. Just really the basic plot where a security guard has to look through security cameras for like 2 or 3 days, and the animatronics slowly come to life and try to kill the security guard, and the player has to survive throughout the whole game. And I've seen some films that were similar to this, like movies like the Banana Splits movie and Willy's Wonderland, that are very similar to the Five Nights at Freddy's games, which those movies were just like stupid, dumb, fun horror films that are actually pretty fun to watch. So I went into this film with an open mind, with only a little bit of knowledge from the games, and I can at least say it's alright. This movie is meh. And I didn't go into this film expecting it to be a masterpiece. I was expecting this to at least be fun, just stupid, dumb fun, be more self-aware with some thrills, and I did get some of that. This movie does have some creepy moments whenever the animatronics are in dark hallways and you see like security cameras looking at them, and you get like creepy shots of the animatronics looking up at the camera. Freddy and the other animatronics are very creepy when they kill people and give off very creepy stares when they're getting ready to kill someone. And a good thing I can say about them is that most of them are costumes and puppets that they use for the animatronics. They didn't use any CGI for them when they move. That was something I was actually kind of happy to see. The atmosphere is also a highlight. Whenever Josh Hutcherson is in the pizzeria at night doing his night shift, you definitely get a very creepy feel whenever you see like glimpses of the animatronics and how old and creepy this pizzeria is. The acting was fine. Most of them give a decent performance. Like, Josh Hutcherson is pretty good as Mike, a character who's had a pretty bad childhood in his past without giving anything away. That kind of made him more down on his luck and kind of troubled. Like, he's had a job that he messed up on that got him fired, and he's getting his house evicted, and he's trying to take care of his younger sister, and he really doesn't have a lot helping him until he gets this job at the pizzeria, which he thinks could help make his life go forward, even though we all know things could go really bad if he gets the job. And this movie did have some very silly moments, which are kind of expected, because when you look at the source material, it's not gonna be top notch. It's just the kind that is supposed to be like ridiculous, creepy, and goofy, and this movie was pretty much alright just being that, just being creepy and over the top and a little silly at times with a few jump scares, which lead me to my negatives. I didn't find this movie to be scary. There weren't like a lot of moments that creeped me out, other than Freddy and the other animatronics doing something that's supposed to be creepy, and since the games are known for having jump scares, this movie does have those, but unfortunately most of them didn't work for me, because most of the jump scares are just very false jump scares with a loud jolt of music, which isn't very scary. It's just a loud sound effect. Granted, it pokes fun at that with with one part involving a toy, but for the most part, it's just the usual false jump scares that I actually thought Hollywood was done with doing with horror films. And most of the horror films we've gotten today have steered away from the false jump scares, but this film doesn't. I get that's supposed to be like a staple of the games, but it's something that audience members are still tired of seeing. This is also a very tame movie, and what I mean by that is that there's not a lot of kills in the film. Sure, there's one scene that happens later on in the film where you see that, but you don't really see a whole lot after that. And sadly, most of the kills are very watered down, making movies like the Banana Splits movie and Willy's Wonderland more brutal and bloody. And when someone gets killed by the animatronics, you really don't see any blood or like any gore. I get this movie's PG-13, but this movie has some moments that feel like they should have belonged in an R-rated film, which kind of makes me think that maybe they were making this movie rated R at one point, but then at the last second decided to make it PG-13. There was also a big reveal in the third act that I saw coming a mile away. It didn't surprise me. It felt very predictable, and it didn't make the movie feel more interesting when that reveal happened. And without giving anything away, this movie does get into like the origin of how these animatronics come to life and why it's supposed to be integral to the plot. It's disturbing and dark, and it is interesting, but the way they do it here just feels out of left field. And I get you want the audience to care about the characters and what's going on, but with most of the characters being unlikable and uninteresting, I unfortunately didn't care, because most of the characters just weren't interesting. They were just there to either be an unlikable jerk or just there for Freddy and the rest of his gang to kill them. Five Nights at Freddy's is an okay horror film with some good performances and some creepy moments, and it has a good atmosphere and it's very self-aware, but it still wasn't a very scary movie, with most of the scares feeling tame, a very uninteresting story, unlikable characters for the most part, a twist in the third act that was very predictable, and false jump scares that just weren't even effective. I know I keep referencing that a lot, it's just that that's the one thing in this film that I just flat out hate. I hate that this movie just has false jump scares that just didn't even work. Now, do the jump scares ruin the movie? No, they don't. It's just like the one thing in this film that I just flat out hate. Now, if you're a fan of the Five Nights at Freddy's games, then you might have a fun time watching this film. But if you're not, then this is not for you. But if you're one of those people that hasn't played the games, but you are interested and you are thinking of becoming a fan by watching this film, this movie's not going to do a lot for you. I do, however, think that most critics have been a little too harsh on it. I mean, 22% on Rotten Tomatoes is a little too low. The movie's not that bad. It's not great either. I just think it's more mediocre. I'm going to give Five Nights at Freddy's a C+. It's both in theaters and on Peacock right now, and if you ever decide to see the movie in theaters or on Peacock, let me know how you feel about it in the comments below. Also, I hope you guys have been watching my top 10 underrated horror movies videos parts 1 and 2. I did a lot of work on those videos. It took a lot of hard work and effort to make them, and they can be very stressful whenever I make a top 10 video, but I managed to get both of these parts done, and I hope you guys have been enjoying those videos. And as always, if you like this review, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel so you don't miss a thing, because it helps my channel grow. Hit the notification bell so you know what other videos I am posting. Follow me on Facebook and Instagram. Thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.